And welcome to the Moose Pit Studios here on a early Friday, June 16th morning. Got in late. Usually we do the show Thursday nights, but it was a late night, so I'm in the studio. It's about 3 a.m., so welcome to the Moose Pit After Dark. It's Moose here with you. It's another 2 hours of indie and underground metal coming to you from right here in the center of the United States. What we do is we listen to metal. We tell you what we think about it. I say we as in us together. I'm going to listen to the songs. You're going to listen to the songs. I'm going to tell you what I think about them and if I like them or not. And then you can always send in your opinion via email, moose@themetalmoose.com, or also via the text line, which is 424-666-7356. And I want to challenge you to get involved, man, because when people write in their thoughts and their critiques of the bands and stuff like that, it's important to the bands to hear what the public thinks. It's not just me. My thought is really invalid, but I try to listen and help and give some advice. But you guys out there, you're the real show, and we'd love to hear from you. So I challenge you to get involved and text in your thoughts and email in your thoughts. Thank you for allowing me into your phone, your home, your office, wherever you're at, however you're listening on iTunes or iHeartRadio, wherever you're catching the show. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. We got music coming up from Heavy Traffic, Cydia, Wake, Black Royal, Dunkelnacht, which is interesting, Christ Agony, and Satanic Christ, which is a family band, if you've not heard of them. So all of this music that we're playing tonight, I've not heard any of it. So when you get my opinion on it, it's what I call a micro review. It is my first reaction to the song. So I don't have any history with these bands. I do have a history with a lot of you. I'm very engaging with the listener. And so when you text that number or email that email, I'm going to answer you back. You can also make requests or just thoughts as well, too, and have a lot of good fun with it. If I like a band, I'm going to tell you that I'll wear their shirt, and that's just the truth, because I don't wear shirts from bands that suck. And if I don't like a band, I'm just going to say it's not my thing and that I won't wear the shirt. But I also give a taco rating, which is something, we're slowly becoming famous for. I'm pretty famous worldwide for being a Cheeto fanatic. So I am a Cheeto fanatic, but I also love tacos. Mucho, muy bueno. Gringo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, tacos, baby. Anyway, so coming up first, we get a band called Mind Flayer with a song called Black Frost, which reminds me of the book Black Rust by Chad Michael Ward. If you don't know who he is, he's an amazing artist. Check him out. Mind Flayer, Black Frost, coming to you from the Moose Pit here in Oklahoma City with Moose on the Soundcheck. Let's get it on.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
listening to the Metal Moose.
Mind Flare, so really highly well produced grind there. The production was super impressive. That is one of my favorite kinds of metal. I am a huge fan of just, and the cool thing about that is there's so many different versions of grind. I mean, from crust, that was not crust. That's why I was so like, God, the production on this is beautiful for such a grindy thing. That vocal is just it for me. I love that vocal. I really liked, they had that almost beer metal swing going on a little bit. That was also very interesting. Pretty cool, man. I'm just a big grinder, and I think that sometimes people get it or you don't get it. Either you get or you don't get grind. You don't like it because it just doesn't make any sense to you or whatever. And that's okay. But I'm a big grind fan, so I loved that. I would wear that shirt. I didn't expect with that name, like Mind Frost. I kind of thought, kind of traditional heavy metal was about to happen, but that was some grindy fun, and the production was good, like really good. So I liked it. I'm a fan. I would wear the shirt, and I totally give that song like 4.5 tacos, because I thought that the little groove section was, and I know this is just me being probably not outside of the box enough. I just didn't think you could quite swing long enough with that, but it's grind, everything's fast. So man, what a kick-ass song. That was cool. And that's another thing I like about grind is you put to rest any wonder to anybody that doesn't like listen to metal, and they're like, oh, so what do you listen to? And you play them something like that, they're like, all right, yeah, so yep, we're not going to be hanging out with you at Buffalo Wild Wings. And that's fine, that's good. I didn't want you to like it. Bye now. Coming up next is a band called, what the hell? Amygdala? Amygdala. Yeah, that's their name. I don't know. I should change the name of the show to I don't know what your band name is, because I can never pronounce band names anymore. Just Jesus, man. Can we go with something simple? So Amygdala, coming up right now on the check. I'm clueless on this one. No idea. So let's find out together. Stop touching me there.
You're listening to the Metal Moose.
The core of Hi, this is Pablo from Zero Tolerance, Chile, South America, and you're listening to the Musul.
Thanks to Zero Tolerance, and you're listening to the Musul. Hey, you're welcome. Very cool, though. I mean, when you got bands from Chile sending you stuff. Anyway, so the song, wow, I want to end my Gedalia. Wow, I loved the riff. I thought that the riff in the song was almost Cold Void Catatonia-esque, almost a depressive black metal sounding, almost doomy. Really liked that. At first, I questioned the production, but then when it went into that kind of depressive, terror kind of thing, I appreciate it. I think that the lead tone was pretty ugly, but that's a small issue there. She does a really good job portraying in her vocal desperation and, like I said, terror and doom. It was almost hard to listen to, and I liked that about it. Is it something that I would listen to more of? I don't know. I think that if it's crafted right, that is a really, really good sound. If they can get it proper, and it's one of those fine lines with a band like that, that you've got to be careful not to almost sound bitchy. I hate to say that, but whiny girl, and she didn't have but that little tiny speaking part, so it didn't fringe on the bitchy, but it wouldn't take much of a change to make it bitchy. But I liked it. I thought it was horrifying, and I can appreciate that. I liked that about it. So I'm a fan. I would wear the shirt, and I think that with maybe a little bit rearrangement and some little bit better maybe production, that would be something that could do really well in this age of metal. I think that could do well, but for right now, I would wear the shirt, and I would say keep your eyes out on this band. I don't know that they're going to be huge or successful or whatever, but I think that they have a lot of the right pieces and tools to be those things. So yeah, man, I would go with a probably 3.5 taco on that. And I like what they're doing. So hopefully they do more stuff, and hopefully they're one of the bands that hears a show and they're like, oh yeah, well, you listen to the wrong song. Here, listen to this. And then it's like 100 times better. And I'm like, oh, there you go. Coming up next, a band called Black Royal, which sounds like a beer, like from way southern Texas, with Dying Star. I'll take a Black Royal, please.
You're listening to the Metal Moose.
I think it's bands like Black Royal that give me the most hardest time to review because there wasn't anything bad about it. Production was nice, performance was solid. It was a good tune. So there's nothing not to like necessarily about that. It was good. It was standard heavy metal. Had a little bit of keyboard in there to throw some texture into it. Good riffing. Vocal was pretty standard. And that's why I have a hard time with it. It was good. There was nothing bad about it other than the fact that I feel like every single second of that song has been done before. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when you have a blueprint like that, you need to have something that you can stamp on it to say, this was done the Black Royal way, and I just couldn't hear it. And sometimes that stamp is your live show, so I didn't see them live. I don't know if that's their stamp, but it was a good tune. It was entertaining. I would wear the shirt. I would definitely tell people, hey, you should check out Black Royal. Pretty cool band. That's about as far as it would go. I wouldn't be like, they're amazing. You've never heard anything like it. They really put their own stamp on it. I would just say pretty cool band. I would wear the shirt. And it's about a 3.5 taco song. There's nothing wrong with it. Just it's that little fish and huge ocean complex with that. So anyway, Black Royal, like what you're doing, man. Just keep doing it. And somehow, if you're out there putting your stamp on it, just keep stamping it. That's you mailing it in is the way you get known. So not by a goofy ass review by a guy like me, but that's my opinion on that. Christ Agony. I wonder what their music is about. Black Blood of the Universe. I love it. It's with OV. Ove Universe. There's no the. Black Blood of Universe. Let's check it out.
Hey, this is Jake, the drummer for the Violet Hour, and I'm here to tell you the Moose totally rocks. Yo, this is Tyson from the Apex, and you're listening to the Moose. Hello, metalheads. This is Duke Jackson from Strike Force, and you're listening to the Metal Moose Radio Show. Crank it up, metalheads.
Tonight, let it start. with the Moose.
That's me, the Moose here, slaving over a hot microphone here in the Moose Pit, early Friday morning, the 16th of June, 2017. So listen, the music in the Christ Agony was really, really nicely done. Black metal can get boring really fast, and the music really kept that rocking. It was really well textured. It wasn't just 4 minutes of a blackened, cold riff from the universe. Even though that was the blood of OV, the universe. But it was good. I liked the music a lot. It stood out as not just another, low production kid in a basement, in Arkansas putting in a black metal record. So, yeah, pretty good, man. I would wear the shirt as long as there's no, sex with nuns on the shirt. Anything that has nuns having sex, I'm not going to wear it. Sorry. I have kids and stuff, so I can't explain that to them. Well, see, this nun, no, it just didn't work like that. So, for me anyway, I mean, those of you that like to wear nuns having sex shirts around your children, more power to you. But I try not to do that. So, yeah. Anyway, Christ Agony. Good. This next band is, if I had to guess, and which I do this a lot on the show, is I guess what a band sounds like by their name, which is a little game that I like to play with myself to keep it interesting, because metal band names are the best. Where else can you hear a band called Satanachrist or Bad Diner? It just happens. Sixth band is called Cydia. Cydia, which sounds very proggy to me, because I don't know what a Cydia is or what it means. Usually those smart hipster kids with the 8-string guitars, they tend to like to name their bands after weird stuff like a Cydia. Sounds like a flower, though. Just guessing. So yeah, which I'm growing more into the djent, whatever the hell. The song is called Golden Calf, and we'll find out if it's a Genty Fresh right now on the check.
This is Michael from the band Bag of Bones, and you're listening to the Metal Moose.
This is Derek from Scissortooth. You're listening to the Moose.
This is Ben from Go to War, and you're listening to Metal Moose Radio.
This is Ben DeVoe from Inverted Serenity, and you are listening to the Moose.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
Sidey there with a heavy metal Twilight Zone kind of thing, which I dig. That's like my favorite show of all time. So I really, when I started kind of digging and delving into the djent world, or whatever you want to call it, progressive death metal, whatever. It's funny because the hipster man bun dudes get upset if you call it progressive tech death or whatever. So, but whatever it is, I like it. That was very soundtracky to me, what I call a soundscape kind of a deal, but cool music that I could listen to. One of the cool things about that, it wasn't just chock full of watch how many arpeggios we can do and stuff like that. It was just soundscape-esque. It was literally, I felt like I was listening to a metal version of a Twilight Zone track. It was very cool. I'm into that. So don't get me wrong, I love the shred fest too. But I'm learning about a whole new group and generation of musicians that are doing things differently, and it's great for music. It's great. There's only so much that we can go back and redo again, and it be entertaining. This whole world of new stuff is entertaining. It is thoughtful. It is the talent is disgustingly good. So it's been awesome for me to start, and I'm just barely at the surface, man. There's so much more out there. I don't know anything about it, but we're going to continue to put djent into the shows. So maybe there's another guy like me who still thinks Grim Reaper is the greatest band on the world that can hear a cool band like that and go, hey, now that's something I've not heard before, which is I'm kind of having to go through the soiree of djent bands and say, okay, well, those 17 sounded just alike, but these 4 right here are pulling off some stuff, and getting into that, man. So I recently I've had the CD for 100 years. I've never listened to it, but I just recently found out how really, really good the Faceless is, and with their last record, I can't remember what it's called. Auto Theist, I think is what it's called. Anyway, something like that. Brilliant. One of the most brilliant pieces of music that I've laid my ears on. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of good stuff out there. And, I'm trying to catch up from being the old guy because all the young kids are like, "Well, that music you play in your show, dude, it's outdated." Well, I don't necessarily agree with that. There's a lot of amazing music on the show, but we're trying to keep it fresh for everybody. Everybody likes it fresh. Dunkelnacht, which is German for, like, dark night. Yeah, something like that. God to Gold.
to the Metal Moose.
It's an interesting piece of music right there from a Dunkel. Like, it's one of those things where, and I'm going to tell you the honest truth about it. When I put these shows together, like I said, I don't listen to the tunes. I just pick them off, a song off of the album, and I throw it in here. I have a feeling that they don't sound like that normally. That may be the base of their music, but it made me say to myself, you know, when I was younger and growing up, and you mentioned German, you thought about destruction and Sodom and Creator. That's what, you know, Germany was on the front of metal. And then, you know, years later, it became Rammstein, which, you know, makes sense. And good God, if they had enough success in their career. Really good band. And so, yeah, or In Extremo. That's another one of those German, whoa, what the hell just happened bands. So to me, it was like very, you know, it was kind of like Cirque du Soleil kind of gothy, very German tinged kind of thing. I need to go back and listen to more. I thought it was very interesting. I guess the best way to put it. I didn't dislike it. It's not anything that I would consider metal in any way, shape, or form necessarily. It was kind of soundtracky, you know what I mean? Another one of those soundscape kind of. It's very cool though. So yeah, before I can really give, you know, whether I'd wear the shirt or not, I need to hear more. I like it Extremo and I like Rammstein as well. So, but I need to hear more about what's going on there. Pretty interesting. Easily creepy and circus-like at the same time, which is interesting. So coming up next here from the Moose Pit in Oklahoma City, like I said at the beginning of the show, you getting involved in the show is awesome. We love to hear from you. moose@themetalmoose.com or text in on the text line at 424-666-7356. Brought to you by the Metalhead Box and Grunt Style. So if you don't know what the Metalhead Box is, make sure and head on over to the metalheadbox.com. It's the coolest damn thing ever. You can get a box full of metal goodies, CDs, shirts, patches, stickers, cups, snow globe. I got a snow globe. Which a metal one, which is awesome. So it's all through the amazing Metalhead Box up from Canada, which is the most metal country on the planet. I don't care who says what. Dig it, Exiled from Light.
This is Cammie from Van Hals, and you are listening to The Moose.
Hey, Metal Moose. It's the other Metal Moose, Matty J from Psychostick. Just calling to say, Moose.
Hey, this is DJ from Revel 9, and you're listening to the Metal Moose.
This is Chris from Olacia, calling you from Cleveland, Ohio. You are listening to Metal Moose Radio, Chicks That Rock program, and the Metal Moose is on the loose. Crank it up, man. It's metal.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
You're listening to the Metal Moose.
Exile from Light there, a little breathy, a little lengthy for me, pretty standard Burzum worship. So, I mean, I like it, I like Burzum, but I just didn't find anything in there that I want to go, hey, this band is really doing something kick-ass. I listen to it and I go, hey, it's Dunkelheit, Jesus Stode. Anyway, so, I'm going to take this time to talk about grunt style. If you guys know anything about me and you listen to the show, you know that I'd like to call myself a patriot. I don't want to call myself a radicalist, but I believe in the United States, and I believe in our right to bear arms, and I believe in paying tribute to the soldiers who fight for the rights that we have. That doesn't mean that I think the American government is right. Trust me on that, because they're out of their damn minds most of the time, and most of them. In that fashion, I am a fan of grunt style clothing. I know that's the name to you may sound funny, but if you know what it means, you understand it and you appreciate it. But listen, man, I'm a big fan of their clothing line, but they don't just have clothes. They have outdoor gear. They even have a laptop bag, which is awesome, which I hope to order very soon. But go to gruntstyle.com and check them out. Super cool clothes, really cool company, very supportive of what we do here, as I support them back as well. But show that you're proud to be an American, and show that you're proud of where you're from, and stand up for what you believe in. That's what I do when I wear a grunt shirt, man. I'm saying I'm damn proud to be here, and I'm not really interested in your crap. If you want to talk to me about your views on certain things, I'm not even interested in talking about them, because they're garbage. So I'm just saying that when there are people that illegally enter the country and they get more rights than our vets do, there's a problem. There's a problem with that. So we need to take care of the people that took care of us, and the people that don't take care of us, the people that come in and take from us. We need to end that quickly and make sure we take care of each other first, man. Coming up next is a band called Heavy Traffic with a song called I know it's on the Plastic Surgery record. The song is called Medicated Bed. This ought to be what? This ought to be interesting. I'm going to go with proggy stuff here. Heavy Traffic.
Get loose with the moose. You are listening to the Metal Moose.
There are some cases when you can go way back, and that obviously is a big-time 70s influence kind of Edgar Winter's group, Boston even, kind of jam there. Love it. Love it. There's a few bands like Heavy Traffic and also the... what is that? The Street Jam, something Street Jam, and then Woodhawk. Woodhawk is another good one that has gone back and taken that 70s prog rock. It's another that reminded me a little bit of like an Allman Brothers kind of tune. Totally jammy, Deep Purple. Edgar Winter, like I said, very, very cool. I love that vocal style, that haunting, almost Black Sabbath signature, echoey kind of thing. Really liked it. I would so wear that shirt, and it's a throwback. And I know that earlier in the show I was talking about, there's only so far we can go with rehashing things, but man, look, the 70s. We're in the 2000s now, so going back to the 70s is going quite a ways back, and trying to make something new out of it. Now, did they stamp that with anything that made it their own? Not necessarily, but it's good to, trust me, when you see a band like that play, it's different than watching your normal, band. Everybody's working together, and everybody's talented at their respective instrument, and it's and it has a whole different feeling for it, and I love it. So I'm just a fan. I just was all about that. So yeah, coming up next is a band. I'm pretty sure this is instrumental in the gent world. It is on a new trend I have of playing songs named after cities or countries, because we have Moscow coming up on the Chicks That Rock show, which is just a couple shows away. If you don't know about the Chicks That Rock, it's a show where every band we play at least has one female member, and we do that every 10th episode. So coming up next will be the not next, but I think this is number 47 here, which I skipped, and then I did 48. So in a couple weeks, we have the Chicks That Rock show coming up, and we have a lady singer band, whatever you want to call it, called Moscow, and so we'll be playing that, which I listen to the Chicks That Rock song, and it's really, really pretty good, man. This band, on the other hand, is called the Korea, and the word is Russian, so I have no idea what it is, but we're gonna check it out. We're gonna see what we think here on the check. I'm pretty sure this is instrumental. Let's find out. Me and you.
Just joined the Moose Crew.
Hi, this is Pablo from Zero Tolerance, Chile, South America, and you are listening to the Mosul.
That's right, it's me, it's the Mosul, here on Soundcheck with you guys, hanging out, listening to metal. So the Korea, I don't know, it was okay. There wasn't anything in there that made me. I loved the guitar groove. I thought it was rather interesting to use that kind of groove as opposed to a riff, which I think is something that has been lost. I mean, there's like riffing is awesome. Riff is ear candy, but then there's that groove. It's if you can understand the difference between a ride cymbal and a hi-hat groove, you know what I'm talking about. There's a difference between just showing off a lick and then riding a certain groove through the tune. I liked the groove. You know who was really good at that? This one band, you may have heard of them. They're called Pantera. Those guys wrote a groove. Now, here's the deal, though. They were incredible at incorporating riffs into a groove. And so it was a double-edged sword of badassery. But I like that it's not just a riff, stuff, repeat, riff, stuff, repeat, riff. That was a good, long, held out groove, and I dig that. So, yeah, man, and not instrumental like I thought. That shows you the deep insight that I put into the show. No, I do it on purpose, though. I don't listen to the songs. I want to give you guys an initial reaction right off the bat. Here's what I think. And listen, I think I've said this before on the show. My initial reactions sometimes are terrible. I hated the Black Album when it came out. I thought this is the biggest piece of garbage I've ever heard in my life. Many years later, I think it's one of the best records. I hated Reroute to Remain by In Flames when they came. And I still think that's the beginning of their downfall, was Reroute to me. But at that point, Reroute is a really excellent record. I've been wrong about stuff a lot of times, especially right off the bat. And that's why I don't listen to the song, 3 or 4 times, because I'll find something that I love about it, and then I'll be like, well, this is pretty good, even though 85% of it's garbage. So I don't, and I don't give the songs a chance to catch me. I just listen to them, and go, yeah, that was good, or that wasn't good. So the Korea, it was okay. It was, I don't know if I'd wear the shirt. I don't like Kim Jong-un. I don't know. That's just me. But Ladna with The Awakening. Once again, no clue. None. We'll find out right now.
You're listening to the Metal Moose.
listening to the Metal Moose.
Ladna there with some classic old school Venom Bathory-esque kind of black metal, which is there's nothing wrong with that. Bathory and Venom legends to the scene. So, but once again, I mean, the rehash is, I don't know if it was a well done song. It was very black metal, blah blah. Yeah. So now's when I'm going to take the time to tell you guys that it's very important for you to know that we do this. We don't make any money. I don't make any money doing this. I've been doing this since 2014, playing bands that I feel like I don't think the underground has paid enough attention to. Of course, it's grown tremendously since I started. Not that I have anything to do with it, but there are a lot of people doing underground shows now. But this is something that I've paid for, this Behringer board and this AKG mic and this workbook, external hard drive, and this these two laptops out of my pocket because I dig doing this. But donations are highly, highly, highly appreciated. You can donate at the website at themetalmoose.com. I just hit the donate button, and it's all PayPal. Goes through there. Because I would like to buy a new laptop. This one's going out on me. The board and the mic and the hard drive are doing good, but I would like a new laptop. I've also been interested in printing up some tees for you guys. There's been some requests for Soundcheck t-shirts, so that all costs money, and I got a bunch of kids. I can't afford that, so any donation is well appreciated. And I also wanted to take the time to say this so far has been a really good example for those people that don't listen to the show because they're afraid that it's all death metal or all black metal or all whatever, yada, yada. We mix it up as much as possible. So we've had some, 70s throwback kind of rock stuff and some just good hard rock and music on the show and some black metal and djent and all that stuff. So we got a long way to go. We're only an hour and a half into the show. Got another 30 minutes of awesome stuff ahead. So don't, if you have a friend who's like, I don't listen to the Moose, man, it's all just blah, blah, blah. No, it's not true. It's not. We throw down on so many different levels of music, and it's not just metal all the time. So I hope you're enjoying the show. I do appreciate it. If you're listening out there on iHeartRadio, give us a text and let us know that you're jamming on iHeart, 424-666-7356. iTunes as well. Let us know where you're listening from and what you think about the show and what you'd like to hear more or less of, because this is like an old spaghetti recipe, man. We just make it over and over and over again just because it's good. We don't change it a lot, but you never know when somebody makes a suggestion. You're like, a little more garlic in the meatball. We can do that. Moonadim. Yep.
You are listening to the Metal Moose. listening to the Metal Moose.
Last minute of the song there, my favorite part from Moon Autumn. Yeah, so I mean, I love the little outro. Was nice, very jazzy, kind of sleep, atmospheric bliss. The rest of it, once again, we've heard Bursum, right? And so I don't know. It was okay in the world of black metal anymore. You better pull off some amazing stunts to if you're not like one of the original Black Circle bands, you know what I mean? You better be able to make your stamp really well known. And listen, I think it should be probably some sort of rule that you have had to have burned down some sort of religious institution. I don't know anything about Moon Autumn. And I just get the feeling that they haven't really burnt down a church or anything. So I don't know about that. It was okay. I'd wear the shirt, but I think they should go into an atmosphere, jazz atmosphere career, because that end part was beautiful. So yeah, a lot of times I have to say to myself, did I misspell the name of that band? Because I don't know if Moon Autumn is the proper way to say that. But coming up next is a band called Oblisk. So Obliskkhh. I didn't know that you could put two K's in between an H. But that's me. Hell, I don't know. That probably, it's probably one of those smart kid deals, and they're like, yeah, man, the old metal dudes, all they can say is Venom, and our name is the hypothetical nebula theory string cheese. Wow. Yeah, so anyway, those kids with the man buns and the big guitars, and they name their bands cool stuff. So smart people words like Oblisk. Anyway, so yeah, man, my name is Moose, coming to you from the Moose Pit. It's very, very early, June 16th, about 4:17 a.m. in the morning here in the pit, man. I had a long night, and I thought I'll just get up early and do the show, and I did. So I strolled into the studio at about 2:30 this morning and started prepping up for the show, which I've been spending a lot of time putting shows together, so that saves me a lot of time. So I've got through show 68, I think, at least, boxed up. Of course, just the music doesn't have the genius of my speaking yet, but it will. Yeah, man, so listen, once again, that doesn't mean that I can't take a request from you if you know of a band that you think is good enough to be on the show, or of a band that's bad enough that you want to be on the show, so you can kind of kindly tell them that they're horrible. Let me do it for you. I will do it. I have no problem with that. So coming up next is band, I'm just going to go with, djenty kind of stuff with Oblisk, with the Providence, and we'll find out, because it's probably badass, but I just can't say their name.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
Mark this rhythm.
I don't hear anything there, so there's no there. Okay, that's why. The Oblish, what, I don't know how to say your name. What an awesome tune. That was so intriguing. Like, initially I was like, okay, this is a little lengthy. This is a little mundane, and man, I just kept rolling through it, and I was like, whoa. Really good piece of music, very cinematic quality. Once again, soundscapey. I don't know what was going on there, but that makes me want to listen to more of them. That makes me want to go, can they pull this off on another song? Because there's too many times, and you know this as well as I do, especially people that actually went out and purchased CDs. You hear one song from a band and you're like, yeah, and you go and you get it, and you're just like, that one song is the only one that's worth the crap. I'm curious if they can pull that off in a bigger way than just that one song, make it a whole album full of goodness. So really good. I would wear that shirt. I'd like for somebody in the band to write me and tell me how the hell to pronounce your name. It could just be a misspelling error on my part, because when you get hands like mine, typing is bad. So anyway, yeah, so really, really cool. It kind of like, it was like Blade Runner to music. I don't know, it was just super cool. Totally a fan. Very, very cool. Lots of textures, interesting production. It was interesting, and that is a big deal to me. Now, I'm going to tell you before I even get to this, I just don't know that Satanic Christ is going to be that interesting to me. I mean, you really... the last black metal band that I actually heard that I was kind of like, wow, that was crazy, was Goat Christ. I remember the first time I heard Goat Christ, I was like, okay, those guys are mad. There's anger, there's vitriol, there is just piss and venom all over the place. And we'll see, because the black metal pool has just become too full, and there's not enough people doing cool things with it. If you want to hear some interesting, cool kind of black metal stuff, listen to the band Whispered. Wow, damn, they're good too. So we're going to find out about Satanic Christ. I kind of laugh at the name, and Tempest of Sorrow, I think, is the song. So we'll check it out and we'll see. It's Satanic Christ on Soundcheck.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
Well, to the Metal Moose.
What? Oh, it's over? Yeah. Yeah, not for me. Just, I mean, we get it, okay? You got a cool name that a 13-year-old wants to wear on their shirt to make mom and dad mad. Yeah, that bored the snot out of me. It just wasn't my thing. Keep doing what you're doing, Satanic Christ, whatever. But for me, it wasn't there. So, yeah. So the show's about to be over, man. We're getting close to the end. Thanks so much once again, of course, as always, for being here and listening on iTunes or iHeartRadio or YouTube or Spreaker. Wherever you're listening from, thank you so much for being here with me and sharing this with your friends. I challenge you to share this with at least 5 of your friends. Say, listen, man, I came across this crazy podcast down in Oklahoma City. This guy calls himself Moose, and it's a bunch of metal music I've never heard in my life. And it was pretty entertaining, and some of the bands on there are really good. That's what we're hoping for, is that you're telling people, man, I found some cool bands. Because, listen, every show we play 15 different bands. We don't play the same bands over and over. We've been playing different bands for a long time, and we've got a huge, huge library of music. So I'm just letting you know, stick around, keep coming back to the show twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do it. Coming up right now, a band called Trigger with Silence Sucks.
Hi, this is Pablo from Zero Tolerance, Chile, South America, and you're listening to the Moose.
Hell yes, we started with grind, we ended with grind. It is Soundcheck coming to you from Oklahoma City. I say it every show, I'm going to say it again. You wake up, you kick ass, you be kind, you repeat. That's the way you do it. You hold the power to change somebody's life in your hands. Take advantage of it. Smile at somebody, wink at somebody, put your arm around somebody, say, good to see you, man. And I will see you next time from Oklahoma City on the Soundcheck. We'll see you then.
All rights to the music heard on the Metal Moose are reserved by the authors, their labels, or authorized representatives that permitted their material to be used. The Metal Moose holds no rights to any music played on the show. Go to themetalmoose.com to submit your music to be heard on the show. Metal Moose accepts donations of money, Cheetos, bacon, and naked pictures. Thank you for tuning in and subscribe on iTunes. Rock out while you rack out, and consider yourself moosed.